everyone, and welcome to YarnGasm. I'm Kristen, and this is episode 229. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back, and if you are a new viewer, thanks so much for checking out the podcast. This is a podcast about knitting, spinning, hand-dyeing yarn, sewing, and making all the things in Brooklyn, New York, where I'm from, and I live with my husband Dennis and our cat Bella. And as always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about all those things with me. So welcome to the podcast, everybody. It is a doomy and gloomy day outside my window here in Bushwick, Brooklyn. I feel like it's been like this for the whole week, and it's kind of getting to me. Not to talk about the weather, but yeah, it's been a pretty gloomy week, and I'm ready for some sunshine. But anyway, spring is here, so that's promising. It can only be up and up from here, right? So anyway, enough about the weather. I don't have any huge announcements to share with you this week, but I should probably pop on the screen where you can follow me on social media and on the interwebs. I am mainly active on Instagram and recently on Snapchat. And if you have not already, please feel free to join the YarnGasm Ravelry group. It's a lively, chattery, fun group where you can I don't know, I can't get words out today. Anyway, it's a really fun group if you would like to partake in our knit-alongs and our make-alongs and just general chatter about each episode, and a place to post your progress for your whips and partake in the knit-alongs that we're doing and the like. So what's this cat doing? Bella says hello. She never hops up on there. What you doing? What you doing, goose? You being a silly goose? Yeah. Anyway, I have a co-host today. So anyway, what was I talking about? Yes, the Ravelry group. It's the place to be if you would like to, again, partake in our knit-alongs and post your progress on whips and post your FOs and just general chatter for each episode. And so yeah, if you haven't already, just hop on over there and see what's happening. It's, again, a very lively thread and a lot full of inspiration. And yes, we do have some knit-alongs that are currently underway and that are wrapping up, so I'll post that on the screen as well, just to give you a general idea of what's going on with the knit-alongs. So yeah, we have the Box of Socks KAL, which is a year-long knit-along, and we have the Honey Pullover KAL, which is wrapping up tomorrow. It kicked off December 1st and it's closing tomorrow, April 1st. And it is a knit-along that I'm co-hosting with Nina from the This Old Knit podcast. So if you haven't gotten your entries in, please do so before I close the thread by the end of the day tomorrow, April 1st. And yes, please be sure to cross-post. If you are double dipping and partaking in if you are double dipping, be sure to get your entries into Nina's Ravelry group as well. So I'll post links to those in the show notes, which can be found in the down bar here somewhere. Anyway, it's a link. Why wouldn't it be a link? Anyway, I'm totally rambling and the cat totally distracted me. But anyway, I think that is it for Administrati. So I am going to move along to finished objects, because I have a finished object to share with you this week, guys. And unfortunately, it is not my honey pullover, sadly. I will get to that in a minute, but I was in one of those modes where I feel like I am working on so many projects right now, and I was definitely craving to get something off my needles. I don't know if it's just me, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this and feeling this way sometimes, but I had these socks on the needles for quite some time, and I was just ready to have them off the needles. And thankfully, I finished them literally yesterday. So anyway, this puts me on track with my box of socks. So my third pair for March is done. Yay! And this is NARWHAL Needlework in her Squid ink colorway. And I purchased this yarn at Vogue Knitting Live this year. And as soon as I saw it, I fell in love with the colorway. I was like, it's coming home with me. It has to be mine. Totally out of my comfort zone, but for some reason, this just made my heart sing, and I had to... the skein followed me home, basically, as Casey from the Creative Musings podcast would say, it followed me home. So yes, but it's done. I finished it yesterday. I just hunkered down. I feel like this whole entire week, I barely had time to knit on anything. And I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna knit on something, it might as well be something that I can finish. And this was that project. And yesterday I just popped on a couple podcasts and finish these puppies. So very happy to have these off the needles. And yeah, these are just on sock blockers, and I actually used my soak that I purchased from Brooklyn General the other week what was it? The Ecolan pamplemousse. And I just want to say, speaking of pamplemousse, last week I called it pamplemousse, which I said was a very fun word to say, and I realized I probably butchered that word while saying it, pronouncing it, and of course I did. And I hopped on over to the Google Translates, and I had them translate it for me and pronounce it, which is awesome, by the way, because Google Translate is awesome when it comes to that. Because if you're unsure of how to pronounce a word, just go to Google Translate and push the type in the word that you're trying to say and hit the speaker button, and Google will tell you how to say it. It's magic. So sure enough, I typed in pamplemousse and Google said pamplemousse. I was like, that makes so much more sense. So anyway, still a very fun word to say, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who, because I prompted on the last podcast, I said, if you have a favorite word that you like to say, let me know, I'm curious. And there were so many fun words that you guys were throwing at me. Hyperbole was another word that I totally forgot about. Pusteblumen is a German word that means dandelion, one of those, you know, those flowers with the little puffs at the top. Anyway, I'm totally digressing. I'm gonna go back to knitting. Socks are done. Yay, I get to put them in my box of socks, which is over here. And this is my box of socks. I love this box so much. This is the one that I used for last year. And it's by Paper Chase. And if you know me, I'm obsessed with Paper Chase items, especially this print. They don't make it anymore, so I'm so glad that, like, when it was out, I just went to Staples and stocked up on the print. So that's my print. I could wallpaper my entire office in this print. If any of you know where I could find wallpaper like this, let me know. I'm seriously digressing this week, guys. But anyway, here are my two lonely socks, finished socks in my box of socks, and now I get to add my third pair. And that brings me to my fourth pair. Sorry, went off camera. So yeah, now I get to cast on my fourth pair of socks for my box of socks. And I was toying with the idea of, I know Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, she just released a pattern called Apple Blossom Socks. And they're so pretty, and I've been wanting to cast them on ever since I saw them. And I have it on my Ravelry queue, and I'm probably going to download it after I finish recording this and cast on. I'm just trying to decide which yarn I want to use. I don't know, I wanted to save this for mail, but I might as well just show you now. I have two skeins of yarn in mind that I want to use for her Apple Blossom socks. It's a done deal. I'm casting them on because they're just so beautiful. I'll try and post a photo of them here so you know what I'm talking about. But the lovely Shauna of Adelaide Cottage had surprised me with a super wonderful belated birthday gift care package, and I'll talk more about that in mail. But she had also included this really beautiful skein of her hand-dyed yarn. Here it is. And girl has my number because, yeah, it's mauve. It's, you know, right up my alley. And by the way, totally digressing again. Well, not really, because I was chatting with Shauna, and we had been chatting, like I said we were, and she had suggested that we do a co-host a knit along together, and I was all for it. And she had mentioned that we do a mauve along, because I love mauve, and I believe she loves mauve, and yeah, we were just like, let's do it, we'll do a mauve along, because Lord knows I have a lot of mauve skeins in my stash. It's crazy, and I probably should put a dent in, use them up and put a dent in them. But this came to mind first, obviously. Shauna. Yeah. So we decided that we're gonna do a mauve along, and it's gonna kick off May 1st. So stay tuned for more details about that. But yeah, I'm debating whether or not I wanna, if I can hold out, and you know, maybe I can just cast on a pair of Apple Blossom socks using this. Or if I do decide to hold out, I was debating whether or not to cast on some Apple Blossom socks using this yarn, which was gifted to me by the lovely Tracy of Nora George Yarns when I had gone to Edinburgh, the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. It's flowing out. Yeah. But how beautiful is that label? I love it. And this is her Thistle colorway, which she dyed specifically for the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. And yeah, this is, I showed this off last week, but yeah, the colorway is Thistle, and It's 75% blue face luster and 25% nylon, and I didn't mention what the fiber content of this was or the colorway. So it's Adelaide Cottage in the Garden colorway, and it's her BFL nylon sock, and it's 80% superwash blue face luster and 20% nylon. So these are my two contenders. I haven't decided yet. If I want to hold off for the move along, I should probably hold off on using this yarn. But then at the same time, I don't know if I'm ready to use this yarn. This is special souvenir yarn. But here's the thing. It's kind of like if I cast this on, it will be like a double souvenir because it is Nora George yarns that I was gifted in Edinburgh by Tracy herself, and it would be the Apple Blossom socks, which was designed by Helen Stewart, who I met at Edinburgh Yarn Festival in person. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but yeah, I met Helen Stewart at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and I totally fangirled, you guys. It was just so, she in person is just so lovely and so just awesome and down to earth. And it was just, Helen, it was just really awesome getting to meet you in person, and words cannot describe. I totally fangirled. I don't know if you could tell, but anyway. So that would be a really special project, I think. Maybe I'll do that. I think I'll cast some Apple Blossom socks on, but then it would be one of those things where I couldn't wear the socks because they're too special. That makes any sense. They would just be souvenir socks where, you know, it would remind me of this awesome, I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah, it would just be this awesome project that would remind me of this wonderful trip that I took this year. So I think I'm gonna do that. And I feel like I waffled on for way too long about this, but anyway, I think it's a done deal. I'm gonna go with it. So there's that, and I'm gonna hold off on Adelaide Cottage until we do the until the move along that I co-host with Shauna of Adelaide Cottage. Yay! So I love making decisions on the fly like this. But anyway, so there's that. All right, I don't know if this is I'm even gonna have a legit mail segment today because I'm obviously drinking in one of the other gifts that have like coffee stains on here. But Shauna, again, lovely Shauna, sent me, as I mentioned, a birthday gift package in the mail, and she also included this amazing mug. I don't know if you can see this, it's so faint. It's very faint, I don't know if you can even read it, but it says, "Always be yourself unless you can be a unicorn. Then always be a unicorn." I love it, I love it. And I'm just drinking coffee. I found this new brand that has been around for a while. It's called Mud. Anyway, I found it, it's good, and that's what I'm drinking. It's their truck blend, apparently. So anyway, so yeah, let me have a sip of caffeine because it is still quite early in the morning. And I have not completely woken up yet. And apparently in the morning, when I have not woken up yet, I just ramble a lot, but anyway. So, okay, works in progress. So yes, the honey pullover, which again is a pattern that I'm knitting. It's part of a knit along that I'm co-hosting with Nina from the This Old Knit podcast, which ends tomorrow, as I stated. I did not finish it. I tried, you guys. I tried and I tried. I made some progress, but it will not be done by tomorrow. But I did make some progress on it. So I'm not kicking myself. I'm not beating myself up about it, because once I have in my head that I have to meet a deadline, like when it comes to knitting, which I find a pleasurable activity, my brain just checks out and says, no, I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna meet your deadlines, and you're just gonna knit at your own pace. So that's what I did with this. Anyway, so here it is. Here's where I'm at, and it really doesn't look like I made much progress since I last recorded a podcast or an episode, but I'm done with the decreases here, and now I'm ready to increase the waist shaping. I'm ready to increase again. So that's where I am with that. And I tried it on. I took out the needles and put some scrap yarn on, and then, you know, tried it on for size, and it fits like a glove. It fits perfectly. And I obviously knit the smallest size because itty bitty titty committee came into play again. So, but yeah, the hilarious thing while knitting on this was, as I was knitting on it, some random string started poking out from my knitting, and I'm like, oh, like, what is this? So I started pulling on it and it wasn't coming out easily. So I started pulling on it even more and it came out, and then I realized only after I pulled it all the way out that I had pulled out some of the scrap yarn that was holding the sleeves. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, that's what I did. So I had to take some time and pop on a podcast and take a darning needle and carefully pick up all the stitches again. Anyway, so yeah, but anyway, here's where I am on it, and it is, let me see, I'm using some Hiya sharps. I'm trying to find a longer cord. I don't know what I did. It's probably on another project, but these are my Hiya sharps interchangeables, and I'm using, I don't know why I have to see this close up, so I'm not gonna even do it, but Hiya sharps US 4 3.5 millimeter needles. And you guys, I don't know if I showed this off, I don't think I had this on last week, but I had made a purchase with Sugar Miniatures. Let me see if that'll focus. And I got a s'mores donut. I love this thing so much. And yeah, truth be told, I am not a sweets person. I enjoy savory snacks to sugary treats. Oh God. I prefer savory treats to sweet treats, if that makes any sense. Yeah, but I just love the way donuts look. I have lots of affection for donuts, and I do appreciate a good donut from time to time, but yeah, I just really just enjoy the aesthetic look of them. I find them aesthetically pleasing to look at. So I got myself a little stitch marker to keep me entertained as I go around and around and around. Again, this is like knitting a giant body sock. So yeah, this is what I've mainly been working on this week, aside from the socks. But I have been making other progress. Anyway, enough about this. And it's living in, this has been out of rotation for quite some time, so I'm bringing it back into rotation. But this is a bag that I purchased from Lovesock Wool, and yeah, unicorns. Why I don't use this bag more often, I don't know. Just because I feel like, yeah, I was holding another project that I lost interest in, so it was just kind of languishing in my stash for a while, and I brought it out, took out the other project, put it in another project bag, and now the unicorn is back in my life. So I love Sarah. I love this bag so much. And yeah, Sarah of Lovesock Wool, she has a Lovesock Wool podcast, and check out her Etsy shop. Bag is awesome. It's so quilty and soft, and oh, love it. It's like a pillow. Okay, so you guys, I feel like I'm all over the place this morning. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it's been one of those weeks where I'm just a little loopy. But anyway, next up, this past weekend, I finally finished knitting Clue 2 of my SNOWMELT SNOWMELT shawl, another pattern by the lovely and amazing Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. And again, the pattern, the MKAL has ended. I believe it was like 4 clues, and yeah, so people know what the pattern looks like. I finished Clue 2, as I mentioned, and here it is. Let me see. Yes, this is the right side. So Clue 2 is done. I'm ready to start Clue 3. There we go. So beautiful. I really love the way this is knitting up, you guys. So very excited to go into Clue 2. And I get to finally switch back to color B. And the yarn that I'm using is my hand-dyed yarn, Voolenvine yarns in, well, the main color right here, the gray, is Poe. And then the, let me see, color C is this new colorway that, I don't know, I'm debating whether or not I want to make it a regular, but it's, just this, like on a whim, it was kind of like a free swim colorway that I dyed up, and I really like the way it looked in combination with the other colorway that I had, which is Moonburn right here, which was a one of the first installment of my sock club. So I really liked the way it paired with the gray and Moonburn, and yeah, I just dyed up this kind of like free swim peachy colorway that I named Aphrodisiac. So I don't know, I'm still debating if I want to make it a regular. Well, let me know what you think. I don't know. But yeah, I just really loved the way it looked together. And this is on my new faux base, which is a superwash, 100% superwash merino single ply base. Yeah, so I love it. I love it. I love it. And this is definitely going to grow. Once this is done, I've seen photos on Ravelry, and the shawl is going to be huge. So definitely really enjoying the process. And it's each stitch is just, every section is so intuitive and you can easily memorize it. And yeah, Helen Stewart's patterns are just lovely. So that's where I am with this shawl. But oh, now I know what I wanted to talk with you guys about that I forgot to mention at the top of the episode. But since we're on the subject of Helen Stewart and Curious Handmade, I was thinking, because I am not doing a knit along for the month of April, so I'm thinking, why not do a quick month-long knit along of Helen Stewart patterns? Because I'm about to cast on the Apple Blossom socks, and I actually, I believe it was last week that Helen Stewart had a sale for her Shawl Society patterns. I believe there were about maybe 4 or 5 patterns in the collection. I don't remember all the names of them, but I as soon as I heard that she was having a sale, I just, like a magpie, went to Ravelry and proceeded to buy 3 of those patterns. I know one is Amulet and another one is Talisman, and then I purchased another one that I'm totally blanking on, but it's absolutely beautiful. I'll post the names of them in the down bar so you can check them out yourself. But anyway, I have a lot of Helen Stewart patterns to work through now. So yeah, I thought it would be fun to maybe just do a month-long knit along of just, you know, a Helen Stewart along. So let me know what you think. I will post a thread in the Ravelry group, and yeah, we'll just have some fun knitting up some Helen Stewart patterns, because I've just definitely become a fan of her patterns recently, and I think, you know, it'll be a lot of fun. So yay! Okay. So anyway, all right, I love coming up with ideas like that on the fly, but anyway, okay, so that's pretty much it for finished objects and works in progress this week. I have not put a dent in my, what else was I working on? Oh, my Belmont cardigan, but yeah, so that's kind of on the wayside right now. But you know, if I don't show it off on the podcast, I haven't worked on it. So that is pretty much it for what I've been working on this week. So I'm gonna move along to mail, because as I mentioned, I received a few packages from some of my favorite people in the knitting world this past week. I pretty much showed you Shauna's package. She gave me the awesome tea mug, and she gifted me that beautiful skein of yarn, and she also threw in a couple of other treats that were really awesome. But then Nina, who is again the host of the This Old Knit podcast, occasionally we do swaps. Over the past several months, we've become really good friends, and we do these, you know, swaps here and there. And I have to say, I love Nina. She's just genuinely one of the nicest people and kindest people I have come to know, and so glad that we've become friends over the past couple of months. And I just love getting packages, and like I just love doing swaps with her, because she put so much thought and effort into all of her packages. And she sent me this one package. It came literally last night, and it was a theme. It was an Easter theme, and I cannot remember the last time I got an Easter basket, you guys. And she just totally brightened up my day, and she sent me the most lovely little things you can think of. So she sent me chocolate Cadbury eggs, which are my favorite. I'm looking at them over there, but yeah, there's those little chocolate candy coated shells, and oh, I love them. So she sent me those, and then she also sent me some coffee with some mini skeins, and this is coffee from Ohio. I know, like, she sent me another one a while ago, and it's by Deeper Roots, and they come out with like these seasonal blends, and this time it's called Bloom, and it's floral, stone fruit, and almond. And it smells absolutely amazing. I don't know if you can see that. So I cannot wait to dig into this. I'm going to wait until I finish my current bag of coffee that I'm working on, which will be gone pretty soon, I anticipate. But anyway, this smells absolutely delicious. And then she sent me some No Makers mini skeins, and I love them. So pretty. So yeah, I've got to put a dent in my granny stripe crochet blanket, because it's been sorely neglected. So thank you so much, Nina. This was really lovely to get in the mail. But the best part, oh my gosh, you guys, I squeed so hard when I opened this. It was kind of heavily wrapped, and I was just like, what is this? What did she send me? And you guys, I don't know if you can see that. Focus camera. Guys, it's a little narwhal progress keeper with a sparkly horn. I love it. I'm reduced to a giant puddle of awe, just like staring at this. But yeah, this was so cute to get in the mail. So I cannot wait to add this to a project promptly. And she sent me some other little goodies like some tea and whatnot. So anyway, thank you so much, Nina. That was so awesome to get in the mail. Totally brightened up my week, because I will say it's been a crazy week. So that definitely made my day. So thank you so much. So that's it for mail. I guess I will move along to sewing, although I don't really have any sewing to show for this week. Sewing has kind of taken a backseat these past few weeks, I guess, just between work. It's been kind of crazy, and you know, just getting back into the swing of things since coming back from Edinburgh, and it's just been crazy. But anyway, I did do a little sewing this past weekend, but mainly just kind of whipping up some project bags as gifts for friends, and I ordered some really fun fabrics. But in case any of you are curious, I will not be offering any project bags for the shop anytime soon. I mainly just sew project bags for friends, and you know, just as gifts and whatnot. But occasionally, if the inspiration strikes or I have the time and I feel like it, maybe I will whip some up. But I don't foresee anytime in the near future making some project bags for the shop. But anyway, just to get that out there. But yeah, I did order some fun fabric. So I don't know what I will make with these, but I got again, I love donuts, you guys. Not eating them, but I just love looking at them because they're just so fun. So I got this fun fabric, and then I also got this one, which I think is kind of cool. It's coffee. It just has like all these retro girls on it drinking coffee and fun sayings. So one of them says, give coffee to change the things I can, and wine to accept the things I cannot. So words to live by, I guess. So that was fun. And then, let me see, I got some s'mores because marshmallows, yeah. And let me see. Oh, and to go with the donut fabric, you need sprinkle fabric for lining. So yeah, I'm gonna have so much fun making some. I don't know. We'll see if I have time. No promises. But then I saw this one and I had to get it for myself because if you know me, you know I love a good glass of wine, and I love wine, so I'm not ashamed to say it. But they had this one, same concept as the coffee one, but it has more retro girls on it and more retro ladies or vintage ladies. I don't know what you want to call them, but anyway, they're ladies wearing vintage attire, and one of them says, I drink wine because I don't like to keep things bottled up. Whoever said laughter was the best medicine clearly never learned the what of wine? I can't read that. The powers of wine. Oh gosh. So some really fun tongue-in-cheek sayings on here. But anyway, I thought it was fun, so I'm gonna make myself a project bag out of that. And I got some really cute contrasting fabrics too. So this for lining and everything. So yeah. Anyway, just some fun fabric to noodle around with. And I do have some plans. I don't know, I'm debating. I have some fabric that I do want to turn into some fun summer dresses. So that's still TBD, but that's the status of the sewing segment right now, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, that said, I am gonna move along to shop update, because I have an update that is happening tomorrow, Saturday, April 1st at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let me go get some of the yarn that's going to be in the shop. So tomorrow is going to be another international friendly update, and by that I just mean if generally you cannot make the usual Friday shop updates that happen at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once a month I try to have an update that happens on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just to mix things up a little bit in case, again, if you're not able to make the usual update time. So I hope you can make it. But yeah, here's just a little sneak peek of what will be in the shop tomorrow. And I'm going to be dyeing, again, as I usually say every week. Here's what I have dyed so far, but I do plan on dyeing some today as well. So just keep an eye out on the website, voolenvineyarns.com, in the blog. Keep an eye on the blog, because every week I keep a running list of all the colorways that will be available in the shop. and I keep adding to that list as those colorways are dyed, because, you know, sometimes I know what I'm going to dye and other times I really just kind of go with what I'm feeling at, you know, during the week. So it's, you know, kind of neither here nor there. But anyway, keep an eye out on the blog. And yeah, if you don't generally have time to go check out the blog, feel free to subscribe to the newsletter, which you can subscribe to by going to the website and scrolling all the way down to the bottom and just entering your email address. And once a week, I try to get a newsletter out with some, you know, the colorways that I have planned for that week and just some news and updates and events and the like. So anyway, okay, without further ado, here's what I have. I will have some more Grim in the shop. And here, this is on my WOLKE base, which is some merino nylon cashmere. And I find this is, even though it's a shaded black and you're thinking like, it's black, whatever, you know, it goes with so much. I just feel like I want to knit everything with this colorway because it's just a nice contrasting colorway. Anyway, so there's that. There will be some more I Am No Bird in the shop. Here it is on Blitzed. This is my Jane Eyre inspired colorway. There will be some more Violet Star Galactica. I have not dyed this in a while, but it's just a delightful neon, deep, rich purple. So here it is on the top on Blitzed, and then here it is on Smitten DK, which is, again, a DK weight superwash merino nylon cashmere, and it's super squishy and soft. So there's that. And then I will have some Dirty on Purpose, which, let me see. So yeah. Oop. Whoop, whoop. Police action outside my window. So here we have Dirty on Purpose. Here it is on Footsie, and here at the bottom it is on my Smitten DK base. That's that. And then what else will I have? A new colorway I dyed up that I showed off on the interwebs on Instagram is something that is, again, totally out of my comfort zone, but it was a happy accident in the dye pot and I fell in love with it, and I want to cast on all the things with it right now. I'm trying really hard not to, but I dyed up a new colorway called Fuzzy Navel, and it's just this really bright pastel-y, like neon apricot colorway, I want to say, and I named it Fuzzy Navel because that's what it reminded me of. Fuzzy Navel cocktail. So here it is on my WOLKE base, and here it is on Footsie, and I will have all these colorways dyed across several bases. Mainly WOLKE, which is my merino nylon cashmere base, and then fingering, and then I will have it on Blitzed and Footsie and Smitten DK. So 4 separate bases. All these colorways will be dyed on. So there's that, which I'm really excited about. And then I had, let me see, what else did I dye? Yeah, I think so far those are all my main colorways that I dyed, but then I had a little too much fun in the dye pot this week. I let myself have some free swim time, which is where I go a little crazy in the dye pot. I just play around, experiment with different dye combinations and everything, and have myself a blast, and I did that. So I will have a couple of free swim colorways in stock. Here's one which is called Punky. Let's see that. So these free swim are just one-off colorways. They will never be dyed again, although unless I decide I want to, but you know, they're just for fun, one-of-a-kind colorways. So here's Punky, and then here's another one that I dyed up. This one I called, what was it, Melted Pop Rocket. You know, those ice cream pops that you can get from an ice cream truck. So there's that. And by the way, speaking of ice cream trucks, I heard the first ice cream truck of the year go by my house. I don't know about you, but like as soon as I hear that ice cream truck, I know spring is finally here. So that just gets me so excited, and maybe that's what inspired this color rename. But anyway, Melted Pop Rocket will be in the shop as well. And then this one also I called Dragonfly. I really like this colorway. It's so, like, I didn't think I would like it until I saw it skeined up. So I did not write the recipe down, but I have an idea of what I did. So this is called Dragonflies. So there will be some skeins of that in the shop. And then this one I really fell in love with, and I kind of want to make it a regular And this is, I named this one Stardust. Let's see if I can get it to focus. So, oops. So yeah, this one I really just love the way it turned out. So I think I will be making this one a regular. Yeah, so we'll see. But, oh, and I also, this one was at the bottom. Stellar Banshee will be in the shop as well. And it's been a while since I dyed this one up. I received a request online. I was like, you know what? It's been a while since I dyed it up. So I will make it so. So that will be in the shop. And this is it on WOLKE. Let me see. Yeah. So, oh, yes. I have more. But wait, there's more. I was busy. I was busy bee this week. So yeah, this is another colorway that I dyed up. I lovingly call it Rainbow Lung, which is kind of like, I don't know if you want to call it like an inside joke amongst indie dyers, but the reason why we wear respirators or like a mask when we dye is so we don't inhale the acid dye powder. And when we say if you don't wear it, you're probably gonna get rainbow lung. So like breathing in all that dye. And I saw this and I was just like, rainbow lung. So yeah, that's what it's going to be called. Will not be repeatable because I really don't know what I did. And I think that is it. That is it. That's what's going to be in the shop. And again, I'm not sure what I will be dyeing more of. I think I'm going to dye more of this tonight. So maybe more of this, more of Dragonfly if I can replicate it. And that will be in the shop in abundance tomorrow. So I hope you can make it. Again, shop update tomorrow, April 1st at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope to see you there. So anyway, I think that is it for this week. As far as, I guess as far as, I don't know what, but anyway, I'm moving on to Blather, which is a segment where I chat about what's been going on in my life, should you care to stick around. And let me grab some coffee because I've got stories. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so yeah, no, I don't have any like tall tales to tell this week, but yeah, as far as what I've been watching on TV, I don't know why I've never mentioned it before, but Dennis and I have been watching The Strain on Hulu. And I know Eric from Sticks Plus Twine recommended it to me because he knows I love vampires. I love everything vampire. And of course the show has to do with vampires, but not the type of vampire I'm really into because it's one of those, like, it's really hard to, I guess it's not hard to describe, but it takes place in modern day New York, and there's a strain of vampirism going around. So it's like a disease where they're like these little worms where if you're infected by a vampire, if a vampire attacks you, and the vampires in this series are not your average vampire, they're kind of like these weird, basically instead of having fangs, they have like this is gonna sound really gross, but they have this giant tube that like ejects from their mouth with the only way I could describe it is like those worms in Beetlejuice where it just like shoots out of their mouth and like grabs your neck and infects you basically. And once you're bitten, you get this strain or like this virus. They're like these little gross worms that like attack your body and you're basically doomed. So yeah, it's pretty much a cross between vampires and The Walking Dead, because it definitely has that air of like vampire meets zombie slash weird creature. Anyway, we've been enjoying that. I will say it's not my favorite show to watch, but it's a show that Dennis and I enjoy watching together at night while reading dinner and afterwards. And so definitely check it out. It's on Hulu. I think there are maybe like three seasons that you can watch. And then another show that I just started watching on Hulu also coincidentally is Harlots, and it takes place in I can't really gauge like how well the show is going to do right now. I'm just kind of like, oh, it's interesting, I can see where it's going, it has potential, but yeah, it's right up my alley. It takes place in England during, I want to say, the Regency period, and it's a bit about two rival brothels and two rival madams or whatever. They run their own brothels and whatnot, and yeah, Samantha Mortenson's in it, and it's if you love costumes and I could see it being very entertaining. So definitely check that out if you're into that type of thing. So anyway, I'm trying to think what else. Oh yes, so I started listening to what was it, the book of what is it, the Book of Shadows? Oh, A Discovery of Witches by, was it I forgot who, Deborah Harkness, I believe it's by. But yeah, it's a trilogy of books. The first book is The Discovery of Witches, A Discovery of Witches, and then the second book is Book of Shadow of Night. And then now I'm on the third book, finally. I took a break because I really wasn't, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not loving it, so to speak. But it's basically a book about witches and vampires and demons, and it's a love story and mystery all rolled into one. And so I took a break from it only because I just wasn't very excited to get to the third book. But finally, I want to find out what happens. Obviously, I can't not find out what happens. So I'm on the third book. I think I'm halfway through. I'm listening to the audiobook while I work, so it keeps me company. So yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's kind of a slog really for me, and I know it's kind of an unpopular opinion because I know several knitters who recommended the book really enjoy the series. So I'm just kind of yeah. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. It's entertaining me. So I've been and the third book is called The Book of Life. Yeah, okay. So anyway, just covering all my bases, but that's what I've been listening to, watching. I'm trying to think what else we've been doing. This week, yeah, it's just been generally really busy. I've been dyeing yarn like a mad woman. I assembled some shelves for the kitchen, so this is my office where I take care of all the admin-y things. I do all the scanning, the labeling, the shipping stuff, and then downstairs in the kitchen is where I do all the dyeing, where all the magic happens, if you will. So, and that is slowly being converted into a dye studio. I mean, yes, it is our kitchen where we cook out of, so cleanup, breakdown, and setup is always a process every day. So, you know, but it is where I store all my, you know, bare yarn that I tie up for dyeing. It's where I soak the yarn, where I dry the yarn. So since I don't have a studio, like a legit, like dedicated studio, oh, the kitty. Hello, wanna say hi? Wanna come up and say hi instead of kicking the camera around? So anyway, it's slowly being converted into a studio of sorts. So yeah, we have a dining room table, which we barely eat off of. When we eat dinner, Dennis and I generally sit in front of the TV at a coffee table and eat dinner there. So we have a dining room table. It doesn't get much use. We don't really have many dinner parties as much as I'd like to. So instead of wasting space, I've just decided to use that as my desk and place where I can store all my undyed yarn, and just create like a workstation for me when or kind of like an assembly line of like where I tie up all my yarn. So this week I had ordered shelves because generally my bare yarn lives out of the boxes that they are shipped in, and I really don't want that. So I want a place for everything. So I ordered these shelves and they came in the mail, and I assembled them on, I want to say on Tuesday. And oh my gosh, I nearly killed my arms doing this. It was a workout. It was no picnic to put together. There was some minor bloodshed. I'm sure you didn't want to hear that. But anyway, I really almost broke my back putting these things together, but they are together. I will try and insert a photo of it here, but I'm very happy with the way it looks. It's functional and everything has a place now, and I'm very excited about it. I do want to kind of decorate it a little bit and make it more, you know, aesthetically pleasing to look at. So, but I'm very happy and excited that I have this new setup going on for myself down there. So anyway, that is pretty much it for what has been happening this week. This weekend we are just chilling. Dennis is still in study mode. He's practicing for his exam, or studying for his architecture exam still. You know, just so much has been going off. I think he had to put off his exams, like there were several times he had to put off his exams because there has just been not enough time to sit down and buckle down and study. There's so much going on. But yeah, again, I'm looking forward to a quiet weekend of knitting, just getting a lot of crafting done, and maybe finishing up some projects. I don't know. But so yeah, Anyway, that said, I'm gonna end the podcast here. Happy knitting, and I will see you next time. Bye.